Hey guys, it's Vanessa and welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm sharing another What's for Dinner with you guys, where I show you what I feed my blended family of 6 from Sunday to Thursday. This week, I have 4 delicious recipes to share with you, and I hope you enjoy. So let's jump right into it. For our first meal of the week, I'm sharing Brinner, breakfast for dinner. This is a classic. Let me know down below if you guys like having breakfast for dinner. For us, the big star of the show was homemade biscuits. These aren't fancy buttermilk biscuits, you guys. It's just butter, salt, baking powder, and flour. Here's the recipe if you want to take a quick look or a screenshot. We are keeping it super simple here, just regular bacon and eggs, and I have some tater tots from Great Value that I've just discovered. I adore them, you guys. I have some homemade baked beans that I did in a freezer meal video back in the winter. This was my last one, so I guess I'm gonna have to make some more. I'm gonna thaw them a little bit in the microwave and then let them heat up the rest of the way on the stovetop. Now I'm gonna throw my bacon in a cold pan. Anytime you cook bacon on the stovetop, you really wanna put it into a cold pan. It's just gonna help the fat to render slowly, which is going to give you that nice crispy bacon without being super burnt. The trick in my house that my spouse taught me, Jamie, was to just throw it on a low pan, like a 3 or a 4, maybe even a 2. Throw the lid on it and forget it. In about 20 to 25 minutes, my bacon comes out perfect every time. So next up, the star of the show are the tea biscuits. Here I have 2 cups of flour and I'm adding 4 teaspoons of baking powder, to which I'm also going to add a pinch of salt since I am using salted butter. I'm going to cube up the butter and make sure it's very, very cold, and I'm just going to throw it into the flour and cut it in with a fork. If you had a pastry cutter or even a food processor, that would work as well. I just like to keep it a little simpler. I don't see any need to get too fancy. If you have 3 or 4 minutes, you can do this. You just want to cut it all together, so basically little tiny pieces of butter are all covered in flour. This is what's going to give you a nice flaky biscuit. I'm using my hands at this point because they are pretty coated with the flour, so I'm not warming the butter up too much. Then I'm going to slowly add up to a cup of ice cold water. I'm showing you here, I threw an ice cube in earlier just to keep my water extra chilled. Keep incorporating till everything pulls away from the side and a ball begins to form. You'll kind of get a feel for it after making them a couple of times. Now the fun part, this biscuit dough is extremely forgiving, so don't get too worked up about overworking it or getting a rolling pin out. Basically, I floured it up pretty good because it was a little bit sticky, and I'm just pushing it out to about a 1/2 inch thickness with my hands. Next, I'll grab a cookie cutter, or you could just use a glass, that works too. I just happen to have these. I used to have a little cookie business, so I have a lot of cookie cutters. If you are interested in these cookie cutters specifically, I did get them on Amazon. If I can find them, I will try and link them below for you guys. I don't know about you guys, but I love taking the leftover dough and just molding little tea biscuits. They become my testers. And I'm showing you here, you see that piece of butter? That is gonna make an amazing biscuit. These are gonna bake at about 350 for about 12 minutes. Here I'm just checking on my beans. These are homemade from scratch. I will leave the link below to the video where I made these, and I may be making an updated video. Stay tuned. Next up, I need to cook my tater tots. I'm just using the air fryer. I set it at about 390 for 15 minutes. here, we're going to throw together some scrambled eggs. I'm using freeze-dried chives. I'm going to add a pinch of salt and about a teaspoon of black pepper. And we're going to start out with about 4 eggs. Now, I like to add milk. When I was a kid, my mom always added water in our scrambled eggs instead of milk. I don't know, what do you guys do? I add about a plop of milk per egg. If that makes any sense, you'll see here 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I measure, you guys. And then I'm going to add a handful of shredded Tex-Mex cheese, and that'll be it. Had about a tablespoon of butter melting in a nonstick pan here. I'm just going to go ahead and pour my egg mixture right in, and I've got my heat on medium to medium low. All I'm trying to do is slowly cook these so they get to be very rich and creamy. I'm going to create little ribbons here with my spatula, as you can see. Just continually run your wooden spoon or spatula through your eggs, either in a crisscross motion or a figure 8 motion. Whatever motion floats your boat, do that, and you'll have amazing eggs. I know it can be tempting to rush when you're making scrambled eggs, but if you take your time, they're going to be delicious. All right, you guys, here are my biscuits. They look amazing. You could brush them with a little bit of milk or egg wash if you want to brown them, but I don't really find the need. I've laid everything out like a big hearty country breakfast. We've got our tater tots, homemade hot scratch beans, so good, cheddar and chive, scrambled eggs. You guys, these were amazing. Bacon, homemade hot biscuits, so good. Look at the layers. You could just peel those back. It was so good, you guys. Breakfast for dinner. I don't know why I don't do this more often. Laid out some hot sauces for the eggs and some jam and butter for the biscuits. The next meal I'm sharing with you guys is a Ninja Foodie teriyaki chicken thighs. Now I'm going to cook up some jasmine rice to go along with it, and I have these chicken thighs that I bought on sale in my last grocery haul, but I will be removing the skins just because I find they can get a little bit much. Now for the teriyaki sauce, I'm going to throw in just a little bit of the crushed red peppers, some ginger and garlic, just the jarred one is fine, you guys, some honey, soy sauce, and rice wine vinegar. That's going to make up our teriyaki sauce, and we will use some cornstarch at the end to thicken it up. So while the rice is cooking, I'm going to prepare the teriyaki sauce. All I've done here is sprayed my measuring cup before I pour the honey in, just to kind of help the process of pouring it out. This was a Pinterest recipe, and I will be sure to link it down below. But I will say the general consensus in my household is it was amazing. They loved it. They devoured the sauce. They poured it on the rice. My personal opinion is it wasn't my favorite. I found it a little strong on the ginger, and I'm not a huge fan of the rice wine vinegar. So I would tweak it a little bit. I would take the ginger out, add probably about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar to this. I like it sweeter, and I like it a little more honey garlic. Overall, if you like teriyaki, then you will probably like this. I'm a big wimp and I like honey garlic. The next step is to go ahead and remove the skin from my chicken thighs. If you had skinless chicken thighs, that would be perfect. I did not, but I also wanted to show you just how simple it is to actually remove it. You don't need to pay extra to have someone else do it for you. And if you're noticing my tripod keeps shaking, my wonderful cat knows I'm cutting chicken and can't stop hanging around my feet. Once you've removed the skins from all of your chicken thighs, go ahead and lay them in the bottom of your Instant Pot or your pressure cooker. I'm going to go ahead and give it another whisk to make sure that the honey is all incorporated in the bottom of the bowl, and then pour it over your chicken thighs. Now, anytime you pressure cook anything, you need about a cup of liquid, so this is the perfect amount. Go ahead and pressure cook those for 10 minutes on high with a 5-minute natural release, and then prepare your cornstarch slurry while they're cooking. This is just equal parts cornstarch and water. I will say the amount that you're seeing here is too much. It thickened a little bit more than I would have liked, but it was still really, really good, you guys. Just slowly pour it in and whisk it as you're going, and you'll see how quick it thickened up. All I did was set it to the saute function, and it was perfect. Go ahead and turn the heat off and enjoy. I served this over rice with a little bit of steamed broccoli, and I sprinkled some sesame seeds right on top. Like I said, massive, massive hit. All right, you guys, we are going back to the OG of my meals, which is 7 cheese tortellini with garlic bread from Costco. This is not an original recipe, but it's something that my family inhales every time. If you can buy those 3 packs from Costco for $14.99, do it. I serve it up with Classico sweet basil marinara and a can of the Kirkland tomatoes. Mix that together, heat it up. It's perfect. I have my pack of garlic bread that I buy at Costco every time. If you guys don't know, check out my hauls. And I'm just going to top it with a little bit of mozzarella. You guys, this meal doesn't get any simpler than this.
Change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better knock that stuff down. Come a little.
Just going to go ahead and salt my pasta water, but I want to show you guys a little trick for dumping this pasta into the boiling water, because I've splashed myself a million times. I have this colander with a little spout on the end of it, and I pour my pasta in there to pour into my pot. It may seem ridiculous, but it has saved me many burnt fingers. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and shred up my mozzarella.
Bye, 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 bye. You're a little bit selfish. You get mad every time you lose. You can't take me with you. I'm scared.
A lot of times when I'm doing this garlic bread, I just put the bread directly on the rack in the oven, but lately I've been using this cooling rack and setting this whole thing right on my oven rack. It just saves me having to take one piece of bread out of the oven at a time. I'll show you what I mean here in 1 second.
Time, because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure. Yeah.
This just guarantees that my bread will crisp up on the bottom.
Yeah. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye.
Okay, once I've added the pasta, this takes no time at all to cook, you guys. 6 to 7 minutes max, and it is cooked. Sometimes I've even cooked it right from frozen, because I do keep it in the freezer, the extra packs, and then I just allow another extra couple of minutes, but it literally takes no time. I've gone ahead and heated up my tomatoes and my sauce in a saucepan on the stove, and the pasta is looking ready to go.
That's what you believe. So all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly.
I'm going to go ahead and plate this up, but I can say one package of these always feeds my family of 6. Now, no, we don't have the biggest appetites, but I will say I'm always confident when I serve this up, it's going to be devoured and everybody's going to have a full belly and everybody's going to be happy. Definitely check this out if you can get to Costco.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Last meal of the week was a beautiful day. We finished it off with a barbecue. It's just me and 2 of the boys tonight, so it's kind of a hodgepodge and a mishmash. Burgers, a steak, some hot dogs, and I'm gonna do up some really nice sliced potatoes on the barbecue. And I also grabbed this Greek pasta salad from Costco, and we're gonna give that a try with supper too. do these sliced potatoes with any type of potato. I just happen to have these little red ones from Costco that were on their last leg, so I wanted to use them up. It can seem a little time consuming to slice them up, but I showed you a little trick there. If you hold it between your fingers, you should be able to get through them pretty quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and separate any of the ones that were still kind of stuck together. All I'm going to season them with is this Kirkland organic no salt seasoning. If you guys haven't tried this before, highly recommend it. It's so flavorful. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good douse of pepper and throw on about 6 pads of butter. I decided to keep my steak super simple tonight. Some Lowry seasoning salt, pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. If this isn't your first What's for Dinner, you know I like to keep my burgers pretty basic and pretty plain, so just meat. What?
That is a really good looking steak.
Check out Jamie's shirt.
You want something to hold that foil up with?
No, I'm fine. Wow, it smells good back here. Anything, Bob? Is that yours? Yeah, I know yours. Lots of wagging tails here. Smells yummy. Big burgers. Big steak. That doesn't take long. That steak will take like 10 minutes. Yeah, that was really good.
They're delicious.
They smell amazing. It's that seasoning I can smell.
So I'll keep this tray out there. I'll send this back in with you, I guess. You want
Yeah.
to take that? Thank you.
I made my way back into the house and Jamie followed me with the most delicious steak dinner I have ever had. The potatoes were soft and moist and delicious. The pasta salad was good, but the steak, you guys, that was the key. I didn't even show you guys a picture of the burgers because I was too happy about the steak. I can't thank you guys enough for taking time to stop by my channel, to watch my videos, and leave comments, and be so incredibly supportive. I am forever grateful to you guys. I hope you're having an awesome week, and I hope I see all of you in my next video. Take care.